All right, we've got some good news right from the chambers of Congress literally minutes ago on a new interim bill they've been working to pass. Now, Senate Republicans and Democrats have reached a deal today on April 21st on a $484 billion coronavirus relief package for small businesses, hospitals, and testing. Now, the Senate passed a voice vote today that will make way for legislation to become law by the end of this week. So things are progressing very fast with this. Now, I'll give you the key points right up front, then we'll go into more specific details and how this will actually impact you, and you'll want to pay attention to this bill specifically. Now, the deal would allocate $321 billion more for the Paycheck Protection Program. That was already passed with the last CARES Act. Now, $60 billion of which would be set aside for small lenders. It would also offer $75 billion for hospitals and $25 billion for coronavirus testing. Now, before we move on, make sure you hit that subscribe button because just like this news, we'll continue to bring you the latest info in regards to how these bills will impact you and your business. Now, let's really get into this. The unanimous support to pass this bill allows the legislation to become law as early as Thursday, April 23rd, so this week. And this will be the fourth large infusion of corona-related aid to come at this point. Now, the deal allocates $321 billion more for the Paycheck Protection Program, which provides small business loans to keep workers on payroll. Now, if you've been following the news, the government has been under constant pressure to replenish the PPP fund allocated to small businesses as part of the $2.2 trillion relief bill late last month that was released. Now, the program offers forgivable loans to companies that agree to maintain their payroll. Its funds, which totaled $349 billion, ran out last week, putting pressure on businesses that retain employees in hopes of obtaining the loan. Now, of that $320 billion, $60 billion of that would be set aside for small institutions. Half of the $60 billion would go to lenders with assets of less than $10 billion, and half would go to those with assets between $10 billion and $50 billion. Now, in this wave, Democrats fought for smaller businesses after it was reported that large companies with 200 to 400 people and with close bank relationships quickly swooped up the majority of the original pool of money released in the first wave of the CARES Act. That's why it has these stipulations right now. So if you're a small business owner, this is great news for you and your employees. It looks like you can finally get some of that much needed payroll money. Now, another roughly 50 to 60 billion would go to the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, or the EIDL, 10 billion of which would be in the form of EIDL grants. And if you've been following the EIDL program, which is separate from the PPP, you'll remember that during the release of the CARES Act, it quickly went through the 10 billion originally allotted to it as part of the first small business plan. Now, if you've been following this bill closely, you'll know that it was being held up over the weekend as Democrats wanted more funding in this to go towards hospitals and coronavirus testing. It looks like both parties finally came to an agreement. The bill grants $75 billion for hospitals and $25 billion for coronavirus testing, which is something Democrats have been pushing for so we can safely reopen the economy and all these businesses. So out of the testing funding, $11 billion will go to states, which is something Democrats also were pushing for in this bill. And the remaining funds will go to the agencies like the CDC and the National Institutes of Health, or NIH. Now, up to $1 billion may be used to cover the cost of testing for the uninsured, which is great news, and then $2.1 billion for small business administration administrative expenses. Now, this bill also does clarify that agricultural companies are eligible for the EIDL program as it stands right now. This shouldn't be the last bill or infusion we see. More relief should be coming after this fourth installment, as Trump tweeted today that he wants to see additional money for states and municipalities in a separate bill after Congress passes this small business aid right now. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can keep receiving updates about the current economic situation as it develops. We'll continue doing a series talking about the stimulus payments, new stimulus bills, information pertaining to small businesses such as loans, and how to survive and thrive as a business right now under these circumstances. While you're here, leave a comment down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts about everything going on. And check out some of our other videos and stay safe out there, Money Growth Academy.